Welcome to Coaching Shorts. It's Neil here, and in this video, I'm talking time logs. So, if you are ever sat there thinking, where does my time go? Then maybe it's time to keep a time log for a little while. So, for example, if you're a to-do list user, maybe you've got a to-do list, you've been really busy all day, you seem to have got a lot done, and yet by the end of the day, your to-do list is even longer than it was at the start. Then maybe it's time again to do a time log. No, 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 not that type of log. There we go. That's more like it. That type of log. So keeping a track of where your time goes. Now, there are lots of time log templates out there on the internet. If you're a Excel whiz, you could create your own, for example. What I want to show you next are a couple of the key things that are worth recording, worth keeping an eye on, kind of what to capture. So the first thing obviously is the date. How long you do it for is up to you. The general recommendation, or what I would recommend, will be for 3 weeks. That gives you a really good set of data and over kind of a typical period of time. If you just do it for a week, it could have been a particularly busy week or a particularly quiet week, in which case it would throw out your results. So I would say 3 weeks is a good starting point. And then what you would do is keep a log of the time. So generally you would do this in durations. This will depend on the kind of work you do, how much time, funnily enough, you have available to you. A lot of time logs, you would maybe keep a track of every 15 minutes, for example. You could do it every hour. Again, it's up to you, whatever's going to work best. Then within each of those, say 15 minutes, what is the task or tasks that you are doing? Give it a category. So is it admin? Is it design of some description? Is it meetings? You decide on the categories. That's totally up to you. Then you start getting into the useful stuff. So it's starting to note down for each of those tasks or for each of those periods of 15 minutes, is what you are doing, would you count as important or not important? Is it urgent or not urgent? So you're doing it because it's not urgent yet, or are you firefighting? Those two things come from a model, a tool called the Eisenhower matrix. I'll do a separate video on that, but worth looking into. It's also worth keeping an eye on for each of those 15-minute periods. Is it proactive or reactive? Are you doing it because you know a bit of planning, or you're getting ahead of the game, or actually, again, if it's been urgent and important, you're probably doing it very reactively. You're having to do it because it's being demanded of you. And a really useful one is who. Who gave you that task or tasks? Who has that work come from? And what you would do is you would keep that information per 15 minutes, per hour, whatever it would be, for 3 weeks. Then you can start pulling that information out. And there's tons of information you can pull out of that. But maybe four, just to kind of wet the whistle, is obviously what are the common categories? What are you spending the majority of your time on? Are you in a non-admin role, but you seem to be doing 70% admin, in which case, do you need to be looking into that? Are you spending majority of your time in doing reactive tasks or proactive tasks? What's that split? Does everything you seem to be doing be urgent, in which case something's going wrong somewhere? And of course, who's using up your time? If 40% of your time is being used up by one person, that needs looking into. So that's why a time log is so important, because you start getting out this kind of data, which is really useful. Whereas if you just sat down with a cup of coffee and just had tried to think off the top of your head, oh, where's all my time going? That can be quite a difficult thing to do. Whereas if you keep a log, you can pull out that information really easily. So that's why use a time log. It's a great way of working out where your time is going. So if you like this video, please do like it, subscribe it, share it as ever. And until next time, take care.